Hi everybody, welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. The home of the free Ian Screwed Up stickers. Yes, I do it a lot. The last Shuttle Tydirium build video, I transposed Star Trek with Star Wars, a cardinal sin. I have franchise dyslexia sometimes when I'm building Star Trek stuff at the same time I'm building Star Wars stuff. They're all over the place. They're commingled. The parts are, I get confused. Either that or I'm just a friggin' idiot and I shouldn't be doing YouTube videos. But whatever. You're here and I'm here, so let's do this. We're back on the MPC 40-year-old first printing Shuttle Tydirium in about 1/89th scale. Whatever. So I saw somebody today say 1/87th. No one, I don't know if anyone really knows. But engines, we've got them carved out and they look lovely. Nice gaping maws for the ion engines, I believe they are. Oh boy, really risking it there with being wrong again, but whatever. And our 3D printed Shapeways engines, there's no real positive way to get them in. It's kind of like line them up till they look good and they like stick out. Oh, come on, Ian. Yeah, they fill in the thing a bit and then, you glue them in. But before that, we've got to paint them. And here's the problem. We're going to put LED lights on the back or diffused through something in the back. And we want all of these little oval slots, okay, to light up nice and bright blue. But we want to paint these engine grills like a nice dark grayish, blackish, metallic-ish something color. And I figured, well, this is the perfect solution, is some masking fluid. I happen to have the Mr. Hobby. I also have that, Hobbyco brand, this goop. This is more like Play-Doh at this point. It's pretty old. $7.99. I guess I bought this at Hobbytown, USA, like 5 years ago. But the Mr. Hobby stuff is still good. However, the problem is I just cleaned up my workbench and lost the solution. Son of a, why does this keep happening to me? Yesterday it was my files, and today it's my solution, my tool du jour. Where? There they are. Okay. So, first rule about Fight Club. You can't thin it with anything you usually use, like acetone or isopropyl alcohol or Mr. Hobby thinner or Tamiya thinner. It instantly turns into rubber porridge, and you can't do anything with it. And then I said, well, if that stuff turns like Vallejo paint into putty, then maybe the Vallejo thinner will work on this stuff. And damned, an idiot and a broken clock are both right at least once a day. There we go. That's what we're going to thin it with. So shake this up good. I put a little ball bearing in here to thin it out. And then to get it in these slots, we're not going to use a paintbrush. Okay? Work smart, not hard. My wife saw these and was like, what are you doing with those? She's scared of needles. And I was like, no, they're for the workbench. She's like, what are you doing? I don't want to know, honey. I was like, this is a better idea to say that, babe. Yeah, I do dumb things. I say dumb things. I went to our Mexican place at a gas station not too far from the house where they actually have excellent burritos and nachos. And I saw a cheesesteak on the menu and said, well, I've got to try this. You can imagine how well that went. I would have started filming this video about a half an hour ago if it wasn't for Montezuma blaming me for being the person who orders chicken at a Red Lobster. Yeah, my mom does that. Everybody's got one of them in the family. You go to the steakhouse and they're like, I'll have turkey. Like, so we've got this. It's like a 20 gauge needle. And this is how we're going to get our masking fluid into these little slots. Ah, look at that. Every now and then, I have my moments of clarity. My grandpa at the nursing home. Now put a little bit of this goop in here. I might need to buy more of this. Let's see how this goes. Ugh, it's all goopy and drippy and gross, but we're going to mix this up. Let's get a little bit of thinner in there. And we need a stick or something to stir this with. Something sacrificial. What do I have? Ah, perfect. Yeah, just use a zip tie. Bags a 100 of these things at Harbor Freight for a couple dollars. Ah! Ah! Okay. I used clearly the wrong end of the zip tie with a lack of control. There we go. Okay. Let's try the fat end of the zip tie. Ah, that's working much better. Okay. So we're going to stir this up. Why don't we zoom in so people can, like, kind of see what you're doing? There we go. I need a producer. Someone to just kind of stand behind me and slap me in the back of the head and then hold signs up of what I'm doing wrong. That would be handy. I can't afford to pay you unless it's in stickers. I'll pay you 1 sticker a day for work. Okay, and let's test this out. Oh, she's sucking. Very, very slowly, though. Okay. Maybe it's not quite thin enough yet. Let's thin it down a tiny bit more. Yeah, I'm still not very good at this YouTube thing. Like camera, zoom, got to move everything further in on the workbench. Oh, son of a... Oh, it got me. Ah, wrong movie. That was a line from Ghostbusters. Ah, it slimed me. That's great. Save some for me. Okay, we're not working on Ecto 1 today, dummy. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what we get. Let's try to suck. Oh, she's flowing now. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's wipe off our little needle here. Too much. Oh. Okay, a more skilled person would probably lay this in at a bit of an angle. You know, I don't really care how much I get in here. I just want to cover the bottom. Dope. Okay. Ah! If you know, this is the official blooper reel for the entire channel now. Okay. Well, I think everyone gets the gist of what I'm going for, which is filling those slots with liquid mask. And of course, we're going to brush off the edges. Sorry. In frame, Ian. Okay. Good. Okay. So it's actually not bad. It's working out pretty well. I'm gonna need more paper towels. Good thing I bought stock in Bounty when I was setting up my 401k. Let's see here. As well as Charmin, since I eat cheesesteaks from the Mexican gas station restaurant, but that's okay. Toilet paper stocks, you can never go wrong, right? If we have, a little resistance on the plunger here. That possibly means something bad is going to happen. Let's see. I think, is my syringe already fouled up? Let's see. Oh, safety squints engaged. Did this stuff solidify already? Let me get a fresh needle out of here. This is going to get expensive. I better get this done in one shot. I was going to save some for the Friday night live stream on Hobby Time Modelers, but at the rate I'm going, who knows if I'll be alive, depending on what I eat for dinner tomorrow. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, that needle was just clogged. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Okay, I got way too much in here. Way too much. Okay, we need more paper towels. But yeah, this is what we're playing with here, so we just need to wipe off the excess. I missed one slot here. I heard you all yelling from the background. And you forgot one of the engine slots. You dumbass. I hear people yelling dumbass in my sleep. I don't know why. Anyone got theories on that? You know, I like the idea of filling the engines up pretty thick with this stuff because it's going to let more glow come through, and it shouldn't hinder our ability to give a nice paint finish. Yeah, that looks good. Now these are going to take a long time to dry and set up. Okay, terrific. All right, that looks pretty good. Man, I didn't completely royally screw the pooch this time. Let's, since I can't seem to stay in frame zoomed in that far, we're just gonna finish wiping down the outside of these, and then we'll go by, once these are actually like really dry, we're gonna just rub over the outsides of those engine openings with our little sticky fingies to smear off any excess. I wonder if I can clean this out and reuse it. Okay, so I'm gonna let these sit for 24 hours, and we'll be back. All right, it is officially the start of the weekend. 24 hours-ish has passed. Well, not really. I mean, it was last night when I set these up to dry, but they are dry. Focus. Okay. Our Mr. Masking Sol R, whatever the hell it is. Where did it go? Did I lose it? Oh, no, there it is. Mr. Masking Soul Neo. That's what I ended up with. Okay. I gotta get some more of this. I like this stuff. We thinned it down, we poured it in with the syringe, and we've got all our little bits blocked off there. I'm doing a little bit of planning here. I'm trying to act like a not complete moron. Hey, that's from the wrong video. Let's just put you out of the way there. That's for when I'm working on. You know what I'm working on when I'm working on that, clearly. This is the bottom of the main hull of the ship. That is the front, and this is the back. And the engine deck bolts right on, well, bolts, glues onto the back of here. And I'm just like dry fitting it a little bit and seeing what I got to work with, which is a lot. The front compartment comes back to like about here-ish. And then we got our formation lights for the bottom of the hull here. Then our mounting rod is going to go right here. So we've got all of this space behind these landing gear bays, which we've glued shut with the filler plates because we're going to have this thing in flying mode. All this back here we have available. And I don't want to just like glue the lights right to the back of this because that'll be super hot spotty. This is already fairly diffused plastic. You know, it's fairly cloudy as it is, which is good for light diffusion. But I got a little bit of styrene tubing here. So my plan is I'm probably going to take this piece of styrene tube and put that right about there. Or maybe there. I don't know. We'll see how close or far I want to get it. But I'm going to glue all my flickering 50/50 LEDs to this tube, and then we'll glue the tube down inside of here to shine the light out of the back. I'm just hoping I might have to actually put a little sheet styrene wall on either side of that to like block light from going out through the little slits for the articulation slots for the wings. So that could be a thing. That's backwards. And you're an idiot. If it's one thing I'm consistent at, it's being stupid. Let's see here. These locating pegs barely even, they're not pins, and they don't do a fantastic job of locating. This is the only part where this kit is a bit warpy. See how that's kind of pinched down a little? But it all straightens out when you glue it together, which is fine. See, I might want to build a little bit of a styrene dam, a light dam around those lights to kind of just, yeah, I might want to build like a whole little box actually to kind of just lock them in to force all the light out the back and not anywhere else or flooding anything else inside the kit. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We always, no, we don't. We don't always figure everything out on this channel. But we do good enough, I guess. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to start priming these, and then I'm going to paint them, and we'll be back with those results and maybe a light test. Be right back, everybody. Oh, while we're waiting for our primer to dry, it's already dry, I'm lying, is I hooked up my 2 sets of 4 sync flicker mega LEDs from Evan Designs. They're 50/50 LEDs. And I spaced them out so that they fill the engine cavities pretty evenly. They're going to look pretty damn awesome. I'm pretty chuffed with this. Just a piece of styrene tube, okay, so that we know it'll melt down and, you know, glue to that plastic. A little hot glue from the hot snot gun. Oh, baby, I love my hot snot gun. And there we go. So I glued them 1, 2, 3, 4 from one set, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 from the other set, so that there's some alternating flicker in each engine, and that each engine has like kind of a synced flicker, but there's still like a pulsating movement. That's what we want. It's hard to see on camera. I mean, they're kind of blown out, but you can sort of see the flicker. So that's that. I got to put some sort of metallic blackish finish on the engine inserts, and then we will have our proper light test. We'll be back soon. Alrighty then. Our engines are in. We had to raise our little guys up a tiny bit on another piece of styrene tube to get our lights at a good height there. We've got our engines painted and installed. There we go. I mean, the LEDs get blown out by camera. There is, in person, there is a little bit of hot spotting to it, but I like it. It looks pretty damn good. They need a little touch up here and there. There's not much to do. I think there's actually still a tiny bit of my stuff in there. Yeah. Oh, we got a little bit of tulip on the back. That's why. We tuliped the living bejesus out of the back of this thing, and we've got a little bit of excess tulip in some areas. Luckily, it's some like goopy rubbery paint, so it's pretty easy to scrape it back ever so gently. Yeah, we'll be able to clear those out nice. Those will be fine. But yeah, we got our engines done, okay, for the most part, and they're installed. I put a little sheet styrene around the sides of them to lock them in, because there is a bit of a gap. You can see the white plastic of the styrene inside that gap. That'll get painted when we're gonna black coat this entire model first before we start doing anything to do a pre-shade. But yeah, so we're just gonna mask off these openings, and then the whole thing gets NATO black, basically. And our lights are in and done. Nice. Moved on to the cockpit. We got this back wall door carved open. We got to do a little detail painting on this back wall. I watched somebody build this the other day. They didn't have it in there right. There we go. So that's right there. 2-person cockpit. Now I did drill. I did drill out the screens. Now you see this one's square and this one's round. Here's an interesting little tip: broaching. Is that it? Broaching? No, it's not putting that stupid pin on your date. But it's taking a square file and a round hole. And basically, you want to make that round hole a square hole. You just slowly push in and pull out and push in and pull out. And sooner or later, you're going to make it fit. I know, that sounds... there we go. Now, they do this on drill press, on industrial hydraulic presses for making square holes. Drilling square holes, basically. Is you, it's called a broaching or something like that. I watched some Science-y channel. Actually, I think it was probably AVE. He was like talking about how to drill a square hole. Basically, brute force and pressure. And now we've gotten our square file through there. And then just vary your angle ever so slightly, and you could see the beginnings of our now square hole going to the back there. It's funny, there's this nice little channel right here, perfect to put an LED. So we're going to vary one gentle, precise, measured stroke at a time. We're going to open up our little screens there, and then we're going to fill them with resin. So we can do two things. If this was a clear canopy, I would tint the resin green with resin dye. You can get a pack on, you can find that stuff on Amazon pretty easily. And I would dye the resin green and then carefully get it into the openings. But since it's going to have a tinted canopy and be at an odd angle underneath there, we're just going to use a green LED behind it as opposed to going the resin tinting route. But that is where I'm at there. So we could potentially resin these in and come back in a few seconds or a minute or two here and give you a preview of what those screens could look like, but I'm not sure how far I can go with that. We got some of this done. We got this thing assembled, and we got this little quarter, whatever it is, blacked out. We got the little nose grill in. This is a little not perfectly fitting right here, but if you squeeze her down, she glues together just fine. Again, better than the Refit Enterprise kit. Then we got our little our Darth Vader gangway here. We painted it anyway. We're not going to use it, but we did paint it. We painted the back wall, and then I sanded off over these vents. We're going to put a couple of big 50/50 blue LEDs in there, so you get that blue glow like you did in Return of the Jedi. So that'll be nice. I'm not going to do much detail painting on this back wall because it's going to be down a hallway and behind this little door, and you're barely going to notice the blue lights coming through there. So I'm not going to go crazy with it. Somebody flame me, please, in the comments. I'll send you a sticker. If you insult my model building abilities, I'm fine with it, but you got to send me your home address for the sticker. So measured approaches, everybody. Then we started working on these rear main spars. Now, the way they're molded, they have this opening right here with, you know, a cross piece for injection sprue. And you got to put these little trapezoidal filler panels in there. You can kind of see the remnants of where it was. They're too thick. You either can sand down the lip of where they insert into, or you can just take the rear of the panel and just rub it back and forth on sandpaper until you get it to a thinness that is not obnoxious, and then glue them in. And this one you could see a little more of the remnants there. I'm still doing a tiny last bit of fillering, but they're actually quite thick. They're considerably thicker than they need to be. And I already glued them in because I'm an idiot. So do as I say, not as I do. Sand them before you install them, or else... I don't recommend full-size power tools for modeling, but this is a one of those multi-tool things. I got 320 grit sandpaper on here. And I just had to very carefully, Micromark makes a really small version of this, kind of, sort of. I just had this anyway, because I'm also a Makita tool hoarder. But I just did the thing, had it on like low speed, goes up to 6. I had it down on 2. And that was plenty to chew through the plastic and level that off there. So now we have our upper spar with its filler panels sanded and ready to go. We sprayed everything with some Mr. Hobby Surfacer 1200. Again, I just got the tiniest bit of touch up there to do to kind of fill in that. You could, come on, there it is. You could kind of catch a shadow of it right there, that little line. I want to fill that in. I want this to be smooth as much as possible. I also, unfortunately, knocked down this panel line quite a bit with my off-target sanding. Did the same thing on this side, but not as badly. So be careful. Be careful. You don't want to lose those details by trying to fix boo-boos. You'll just create new boo-boos that you can't fix, basically. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead on that for the most part. Oh, where else are we? Went over that. We ordered some additional LEDs from Evan Designs because I never order everything I need the first time. Where would the fun be in that? So I got my other order just shipped out today, supposedly from them. I expect it will show up pretty quickly. But yeah, let me go ahead and resin these in and at least throw an LED behind them to see what they look like. We'll be right back. Okay, so our resin is in our little screens. Come on, focus, you fracker. Okay, and then we're gonna take our little green, little tiny 0805 SMD LED contact, and there we go. Oh, it's not even pointing out. There we go. Nice bright green glow coming out of those screens. That'll be nice. That'll light up the pilots' faces, the little figures. I only have 2 Imperial pilot figures that came with this shuttle Tydirium. They call it the Tydirium. The shuttle Tydirium is a Lambda class shuttle, T4A, I believe, Lambda class shuttle, and that's what the Emperor and Vader, they fly around on. The shuttle Tydirium is a Lambda class shuttle that the Rebels stole, but it's called the Tydirium. That's the shuttle's actual personal name, is Tydirium. There's discrepancies between the model kit because this is sold as the shuttle Tydirium, but it only has 2 seats. The cockpit is nowhere near big enough for 4 people or a Wookiee, 3 people, and a couple of droids to hang out in. And also it comes with 2 Imperial shuttle pilots and a Vader figure. We're just going to paint one shuttle pilot like Chewbacca and paint the other shuttle pilot like Han Solo, and that will be that. They did not have Wookiees in mind when they designed this model kit. Either that or a Wookiee designed the model kit, one or the other. But we're going to have 2 beautifully lit screens there. We have a whole bunch of little 0.5 millimeter and 1/4 millimeter fiber optics coming in from Evan Designs. So we're going to have numerous blinky and lit little control panel buttons and stuff all over the place on the sides here. And that's going to be a whole nother shit show to feed through the model kit to get in there. But hey, if Donnie can do it, I probably can't do it as well. But I'm going to try. And on that bombshell, we're going to say goodbye for this part of the Shuttle Tydirium build. And we're going to zoom back out to our complete and open disaster area. And our good side of the wing spire and our recently refilled part of the wing spire needs a little 1500 grit and a little whack of primer, and she'll be good to go. Let's turn off our power supply. Takes a while for that LED to go out, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Hey, look, my belt gizmo is green, coordinating with those screens, whatever the hell they are. And that's it for now, everybody. Thanks for coming to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, email me, send me your home address. I will send you a sticker. If you have a really good tip or you caught a really big screw up, right here, send a fridge magnet. Or if you're just hilarious in the email you send me, I'll send a fridge magnet to anyone that makes me laugh. Well, supplies limited while supplies last. Offer may be rescinded at any time. Terms and conditions subject to... Okay, that's enough. Bye, everybody.